Well, welcome, and we have the pleasure today of Jason with Jasco, who's flown all the way out here from Arizona to talk to us a little bit about his SmartCycle that Jasco has produced, and we have introduced it in our townhomes here in Vancouver.
Yeah, thanks, Tony. Appreciate the introduction. Yeah, so my name is Jason Evans. I'm based out of Arizona, but Jasco is based out of Oklahoma City. 50-year-old company actually this year. There's a high likelihood that you have Jasco products in your home. We've been behind the scenes for a long time making a lot of different products, but about 6 years ago we started developing this product, which is our JascoPro SmartCycle Lighting System. And it's a system that's really designed with a wellness focus, specifically for the builder channel. Which is where you are. You want high quality lighting products for your home buyers. And in this case, SmartCycle is a solution which emulates natural light. So that's what's called circadian lighting, right? So we're automatically adjusting the color temperature on the lights to be warmer in the morning, cooler as the day moves on. By midday, they're about the coolest color temp, and then back to those warmer color temperatures in the evening. So it's really a first of its kind solution specifically designed for the builder channel and the customers that you're building homes for.
Yeah, and the change in color is really in an effort to simulate sunrise and sunset, correct?
Yeah, exactly. So what studies have shown, and actually there's been some Nobel awards or prizes for this, is that change in color temperature throughout the day has a very significant impact on our health and well-being, specifically sleep. I mean, how many of us, how many of us have heard, hey, I wish I could have a better night's sleep, right? Mm-hmm. A lot of that is very significantly impacted by the type and the quality of the light that we're exposed to in those 2 to 3 hours before we're trying to go to sleep. So a lot of times what we do is we end up supplementing, right? We're popping melatonin gummies. Right. We're doing other things to try to mitigate those things. But at the end of the day, whether it's sleep related, hormone production is impacted definitely by light. Our energy levels significantly impacted by light. Just our general sense of well-being is impacted by the light and the quality of light that we're exposed to.
Yeah. So while people are going out and buying new mattresses, little do they know it could be the lighting in their home that's affecting their sleep.
It definitely can. I mean, it's one of those parts of the puzzle that can have a significant impact on sleep. And 10 years ago, if you went to buy a bulb off of the shelf at Home Depot, you had a choice, right? And it was probably an incandescent bulb. Maybe at that time it was fluorescent. We had to do that for a little bit. But now LED really affords us the opportunity to have a single fixture, single bulbs that allow us to do all color temperatures. So we can do from 2000 to 6500 Kelvin. So 2000 Kelvin being candlelight, really, really warm white, 6500 Kelvin being almost bluish in tint and color. But it's the mix of those colors, and it's the automatic adjustment throughout the day, which really allows us to have that impact on health and well-being.
Yeah, it's so impressive. So with all the different lighting products out there, people can get at Home Depot, Lowe's, online. What makes Jasco different? What's the advantage to the homeowner?
Great question. So, all of our devices are Wi-Fi connected. So whether it's the bulb in the ceiling or the fixture in the ceiling or the bulb in the pendant behind us, even the in-wall devices are connected. And really that's kind of the key. A Wi-Fi bulb isn't particularly new. We've had Wi-Fi bulbs for some time, but it's a matter of also that in-wall device. So we're able to have in-wall devices with Wi-Fi that are Wi-Fi with lighting fixtures, whether that's a retrofit can, a 4-inch wafer, 6-inch wafer, an A19. We've got candelabra, we've got Edison style coming soon, even under cabinet. So all of those parts and pieces come together to create a solution that allows us to touch, those different fixtures in a space that really need to be addressed. Because you you don't really want to do just some lights in an area. You typically want to do all of the lights in an area so that they're all adjusting together. So that's the first thing. So the different form factors of lights as well as the in-wall control device. The second thing is these are professionally installed products. So they do carry a 10-year warranty, which is phenomenal. So that adds a lot of peace of mind.
Yep.
And then for the homeowner that desires to add some parts and pieces later, I mean, you're building the home, but you're not supplying, lamps for the nightstands in the primary suite. Well, for that homeowner, they might come in and then they add some lamps. So for those homeowners, we also do have a website. It's shop.jascopro.com, where they can go and add those additional bulbs so that they can put those in their lamps, and now their lamps will match the lights in the ceiling. So really, we've got a multi-pronged approach. But the idea being that we've made it specifically with the builder and your customers in mind.
That's awesome. And one of the things that I thought was super interesting about it is it's set up to follow, sunrise and sunset.
Sure.
When it's set in auto mode.
Yeah.
But if somebody has an odd sleep cycle, they can actually program that to their sleep cycle as well.
Yeah, you can get very customized with it if you'd like to, for sure. You could flip that schedule around and make it so that your wake time is 6 p.m. instead of 6 p.m. You could even, if you determined that, hey, this isn't for me, I just want it to be at a set static color temperature, you could do that as well. You still have all the features within the app and from the keypads and stuff, so you can still do full color if you want to be, have your lights at 6,500 Kelvin 24 hours a day. That's something you can definitely do. But you can also do fun things because we do RGB as well. So besides being able to do those warm whites, we can do red, green, blue, and do some really fun stuff as well.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Well, why don't you show us how it works?
Okay.
So
let's take a look.
I know we've got a scene switch and it's got 4 different modes on it.
Yeah.
So let's show it off. Right. You're going to demonstrate for us is what you call a scene switch, correct?
Yeah, exactly. So this is a 4-button scene switch. So it has a large button on the top, single press on, double tap off. Then we've got 4 buttons below it, which are customizable. But in this case, we've gone ahead and set them up to emulate essentially the cycle. So wake, work, relax, and sleep. And that's typically how we program these because it gives the homeowner the opportunity to override what's happening on the system. If the lights are automatically adjusting, that's great. But if you come into the room at 8, 9 o'clock at night and you're like, oh man, I got 2 hours of meal prep to do. Well, you might not want the lights to be at that lower Kelvin temperature, the warmer temperature. You might want to raise them up to a higher Kelvin temperature.
Makes sense.
Because you're going to be doing some work, right? So for example, this button right here, so there's our simulated wake scene. So you can see that's a much warmer color temperature, right? Yeah. That's approximately 3,200 Kelvin. So that's about what you would expect in the morning. Again, that's going to adjust throughout the year, just slightly based on schedule, right? Here would be your work, which is where we had started. So again, this space has a different feel when you go from 3,200 Kelvin. That's about 6,000 Kelvin. Mm-hmm. This would be an approximation of a relax. So that's about 3,700 Kelvin. So in that case, the lights are going to be a warmer color temperature. Again, you're sitting around, the fire, you're watching TV, you're, Netflix, whatever happens to be, right? And then right before bed, you're going to see them even get warmer than that. So it's really those kind of 2 hours before bed when they're really going to start to transition to that relax and then that sleep setting, which is the warmer color temperatures, which this is really what's promoting the natural melatonin production in your body.
Yeah, I love it.
Yeah. And then we'll just to show the difference, because it's dramatic, you go back to work right. And 6,000 Kelvin. Yeah, that really changes the look and the feel of the room, the countertops, the cabinets, the wood. I mean, it's amazing how much color temperature impacts the overall feeling of a space.
Yeah. And you don't really appreciate that with a standard bulb that's just set at a set Kelvin.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, very cool. Well, thank you, Jason. Yeah. I have learned a ton in your short visit here.
Great.
And I hope that all of you, as you want to learn more about the health and wellness features of smart lighting, that you'll consider the Jasco SmartCycle. And what you've learned today, what I've learned today, is why we have included it in all of our townhomes here that we're building in Vancouver.
Thanks, Tony. Appreciate it.
You bet.